All right, shalom, shalom. This is the brother Michael Ward from GMS Lake Charles Camp, coming at you again with another video through the Spirit. But before I do anything, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory and to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who strive and taught us this truth. And blessings to you brothers across four winds pushing this truth with sincerity. All right, the title of this video is going to be called, don't get distracted. We can't get distracted with what this world has going on, man. We can't. We have to keep our mind, on the goal, and that goal is to get salvation from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. That goal is to be found up on the good side of Yahushua when he makes that return, man. That's the goal, because those that are not found up on that good side, destruction is going to come to you, man. You're going to be destroyed. Why? Because you haven't been doing the things that pleases Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So we can't get distracted, man. We can't let this world stop, what we have coming, man. So what if you just got a good job, man? So what if you got increased, your salary increased, your living condition got better, so what, man? Don't lose focus on what's to come, man. Yeah, at the Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahushua for putting you in a better position, but you have to continue, to do the things that please Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man, because that salvation is getting close. I'm gonna start it off with this one. This is Romans chapter 13 and verse 11. It's saying that knowing the time, that now is a high time to awake out of sleep, for our salvation is nearer than when we believe. Right, man, our salvation is near. We're getting closer and closer to Yahushua making that return. And how do we know that? From prophecy. We see the things, we see the talks in the news, and we know that we're getting closer and closer, by the prophecies that's taking place, man. So what we must do is, continue to work, continue to, study, do videos, feed the sheep, go to camp, be brotherly, so on and so forth, man. Because no one knows the exact hour, Yahushua is going to make that return, but by prophecy taking place, we know that we're getting closer and closer. So we must do everything that we can to be up on that good side when he make his return. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 2. It say, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. Right, man? The day of the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night, but it's not going to catch the prophets off guard because we have an idea, when he's going to make their return for prophecy. But those that, loaf the law, those that think they got all the time in the world, to serve the Lord, they're going to get caught off guard, because they're not going to be looking. They're going to get caught up in the things that's going on in this world, man. Taking trips, trying to stack this bread, so on and so forth, man. Trying to better their living condition here, not knowing that this place is soon to be done away with. This place is on its last leg, man. How you got that table, it got that one screw in there and that motherfucker loose, and you have the prophet, preaching the downfall, pulling down the stronghold of this place by preaching his word, pretty soon, that screw is going to pop out, man. And that table's going to fall. But keep our mind, on the main goal. This is Luke chapter 12 and verse 47. It say, and that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepare himself. Salaki. This is Luke chapter 12 and verse 47. And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, should be beaten with many stripes. Right, man. Those that knew what the Lord was coming to do, those that, had this truth, but wasn't preparing themselves, wasn't getting ready for these upcoming times, man. Wasn't doing the things that pleased Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So therefore, when he makes his return, you have to answer for that. Why? Because you wasn't doing what was pleasing in our sight, man. You wanted to do what you was want to do. You know, this is not about what you want to do, man. This is about, pushing His word, giving that warning to all people. That's what the prophets were set up to do, to give that warning. So you have to warn the people. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 46. It say, blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he comes, shall find doing. Right, man. So the ones that's doing everything that pleases Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, feeding his sheep, studying, being found with that faith, those are the ones that's going to get that salvation, man. Why? Because they are doing the things that pleases Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. We have to work, bro. We can't, get comfortable in this place and not work. Because being comfortable is going to get you destroyed. You have all these different events that's going on, and all people, are taking their mind off the main goal, man. You just had the World Cup take place. Everybody wanted to be there. But holding on to this place, is going to destroy you, man. Just like I brought up about that table that's on this last leg, with that one screw. Pretty soon, that screw is going to give out, and that table's going to fall. Likewise with this place, pretty soon this place is going to fall and it's not going to be built back up. This place is on its way out. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. It say, rise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. When you go into that word polluted, it's unclean. It say, because it is polluted, it should destroy you, even with its sword destruction. Right, man. This is not our rest. We were sent down here, for a punishment. But our punishment, is soon to be over. Yahweh Shai is soon to come back, and save us, from this wicked world, man. The Lord is soon to come back to wipe the tears away from our eyes, man. But those that's holding on to this place, when this place get destroyed, you're going to be destroyed with it. This is Luke chapter 9 and verse 62. It say, and Yahweh Shai said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow is looking back for the kingdom of the Most High. Right, man. So by you getting a taste of this word, but yet you still trying to hold on to this present world, you basically showing the Lord that you ain't fit, man. And by you showing him that you not fit, hey, he's going to give you over to what you actually want, man. And by you gravitating to this place, it's going to lead to your destruction. The scripture talks about that. It say, ye friends of the world, enemy to the Most High, man. And the Lord is coming back to put belt on all his enemies, man. BTA, man, belt to ass. So you don't want to be found, riding in the car, with this devil, man. Because you're going to get the same treatment that he get. So, get up out that car, man. Come walk and serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. We have so much to look forward to, man. But don't miss out on that just because you want to live it up on this side, man. This is not living. We're going to be living once Yahweh Shai comes save us from this hellhole, man. When we've been brought back to, our own land. That's when we're going to be living. That's when life is going to start, man. We're not living here, bro. So what, you got a good job, a nice car, a nice house. That's not living, bro. You might think that you're living, but you only living, if you have this word and you doing the things, that pleases Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. None of that, Shalaki, none of that other shit matter, bro. If you don't have this word, you don't have nothing. What's that, John 6 and 63? These words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life, man. So if you don't have this word, you don't have nothing, bro. But, that was a quick lesson, something that I wanted to get off my spirit, Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, who strive and taught us his truth. And peace, safety, and blessings to you, brothers across four winds, pushing his truth and sincerity. Until next time, shalom.